Representative Romero, welcome back to the program. It's been a minute since we've seen you, but it's always good to see you again here. Let's start with the TEA's announcement about who's going to take over Fort Worth ISD as the new superintendent. Peter Licata is his name. He's from Florida. And I'm curious why you think the TEA would go to Florida, out of state, to find someone to lead Fort Worth ISD.
Well, I think that it all remains to be seen how much successful he's going to be, Jason. I think that it's evident by the press conference that Marath was very confident in him. The chair of the board, Pete Guerin, seems to be very confident in his ability to turn around. I think what he was able to do in Florida was take schools that were approaching failing and get them, out of that D and F rating and get them to A. And I think that's the objective of the board per their discussion on the press conference. So I think that, this should be a national search. They did it. For right now, I'm going to give, Dr. Licata the benefit of the doubt, and I'm certainly going to be in his ear.
Well, what kind of, let me ask you this then. You said you're going to be in his ear. What are you going to be watching for and talking to him about?
He said a lot of really great things in the press conference. I think some of the things may offend some folks. He said things like, there's a long line at the door to become a principal. There's not a long line to be a teacher, meaning he maybe believes that there's great teachers that could become great principals. He also said that he got moved around every 3 years, which means he's going to look for those leaders that can prove that they can turn around individual schools. As we've seen in Fort Worth ISD, we've had a problem on the east side for a long time. Yeah. So if that means he's moving the leaders, the best players on the field and moving them around to the right position, I'm excited about that. So I'm going to call him on that. I expect him to do the things that he said on his first day. And I think, for right now, all focus is going to be on the kids. And he said one thing, Jason, that I love, and that is he called them our kids. For far too long, I have heard things like, well, my kids don't have those problems. Your kids have those problems. And as a Texas legislature, every child in the state of Texas in public schools, they are all our kids. So I appreciate him using that kind of language.
What kind of reaction have you had from parents and faculty?
I think that there's a little bit of judgment right now on the board of managers, who they are, where they live. Do they have the same shared life experiences that maybe I do, or some of the teachers do, or some of our community members do? And I think that that's a fair criticism. But at the same time, the folks that are on the board, I like and love many of them. And I think they're very accomplished leaders and people that have volunteered a lot of their time throughout their life. So I'm, again, going to hold out judgment. For right now, I'm encouraged by who's on the board.
You said you're going to hold out judgment and obviously wish them the best here, that the board and the new superintendent can get things off the ground. Is there a specific threshold, though, that you'll be looking for success?
Yeah, I think just incremental change. How do students feel, and how do parents feel? Did we increase communication with parents, which I think parent engagement is very, very difficult in low-income communities. And we know that 4 out of 5 kids in Fort Worth ISD are low and reduced lunch, right? So how are you communicating with those parents? They will certainly be reaching out to my offices. And hopefully there's going to be complaints, but there's also going to be credit given. And one of the things that Dr. Licata said is, if something needs to be said, call me. I may not get back to you immediately. So if I'm a conduit and our office is a conduit for communication, we are going to relay that right directly to Dr. Licata's office and see, and that he can prove to me and to other legislators around our district and around Fort Worth ISD that the data proves those points wrong.
What's your message to parents, even staff members who are in the middle of this upheaval at Fort Worth ISD, who are likely anxious now to see what's going to happen?
That it doesn't feel good to know that our schools are failing, and nobody wanted this takeover. We all hoped to continue to support former Superintendent Karen Molinar. A lot of us had personal relationships with her, saw the work that her and President Roxanne Martinez were doing and making a change. And at the same time, should the urgency be even greater? And that's where we are in state law. We have to follow the law. The law may not seem fair, but it is the law. And we have to get behind the kids. We're going to have to get behind this current superintendent. And as I said to many in TEA, get in here, get your job done, and give this back to our local elected officials. Get us back on the right track and get out of Fort Worth as soon as you can.
Any idea when that might be?
I hope that it's within in 3 years, we start transitioning back into our local elected officials. Potentially within 5 years, we could be back to a full board. In 6 years, a full board. So that's the timeline that's in statute. I hope that Fort Worth turns around faster than any school district around the state or around the country for that matter. And I do believe in the community in Fort Worth that we are a very rich community. Rich of great leaders, and we are going to support this effort because it is kids first. And I know that's harmful to administrators and to others in the classroom, but the focus needs to be urgent, and it's going to start tomorrow.
I'm curious your thoughts on the TEA. You know, it's supposed to provide oversight to the state's 1,200 school districts across the state, but here it is running Houston ISD, the state's largest school district. It's running Fort Worth ISD now. That's, you know, the two largest so far, but there are others that is also taken over. What's your thought about the capacity that the TEA can take on?
That's an excellent question, Jason. Here, Lake Worth ISD, just at borders Fort Worth ISD, is one of those that's also been taken over. You do have to question at what point can the state continue. I think that Commissioner Morath has his hands full. I think that there's reason for concern throughout the state. But there's also lots of highlights to point to that there's no longer the failing schools in Houston ISD. They may not be the highest performing, but they're certainly performing higher than Fort Worth is. And Dallas is performing higher than Fort Worth is. And they're performing much higher than Lake Worth is. Maybe folks are not going to be happy with small incremental change, but we have to start pointing the arrow in the right direction. Since COVID, we've only made slight improvements, especially with those children that are from free and reduced lunch. So his capacity, I hope that they can, again, if you can turn around fast, you should be able to move those really high-performing coaches like Licata described, and being willing to move around the state faster. So I don't know what his full capacity is, Jason. I just hope that we bring the best people on the field, the best coaches to our school districts, and that they can do what I've asked them to do here in Fort Worth, which is get the job done and get us back on track and give us back our school board.
The TEA, well, let me ask you about some of the other headlines that have been in the news lately. The Texas Education Agency has announced that schools should remove any lessons or activities that refer to Cesar Chavez, the labor rights leader, after allegations that he sexually abused women and children. What's your reaction to this?
I think their reaction is very similar to elected officials like myself. A lot of folks that are not happy that this reality of these allegations have come about someone that we have all cheered to, marched to, saying "Si se puede," yes, you can. And at the same time, I've also witnessed the state of Texas not do enough when it comes to testing rape kits and taking women seriously when they make allegations of sexual assault or sexual harassment. For me, knowing Dolores Huerta, I believe her. And it's that simple for me. I believe her, and I think we have to create an environment where women are believed, they are trusted, they are respected, so that they can come forward when something so evil like sexual assault happens, so that my daughters and my granddaughters don't have to suffer this same type of environment. So I am cautious about TEA and how far they go. They should not erase the farm workers movement. If they want to eliminate the name, I am okay with them eliminating the name, but don't eliminate the movement, because the real change in people's pay, their education, their political power, all of those things were real changes that occurred through the farm workers movement. Yeah. And I will say that Cesar Chavez did not create that movement alone. He was right alongside Dolores Huerta as a co-founder. So as we move past removing him, we should also place in the importance of the movement.
Governor Abbott has also said the state's no longer going to observe Cesar Chavez Day. Is that removal of history happening too fast? I mean, the GOP is the very party that is so afraid about erasing history, especially when it comes to Confederate statues, things like that.
That's another excellent point, Jason. Listen, I welcome Governor Abbott to invite me as he takes down a Cesar Chavez sign, and I welcome him to invite me when he takes down monuments from the grounds on the Texas Capitol. That is a part of history that we know that the same type of assault that we're talking about occurred throughout the time period when Texas was a slave state, so much to the point that they put it in our Constitution. There's a lot of fake history, a lot of myth that we will eventually get to at some point. So, look, I mean, I think Governor Abbott is really good at playing politics. He's been really good at calling this another example of removing diversity, equity, inclusion, all of these things. But this is a stain right now on the memory of Cesar Chavez, not the movement. The Confederate statues that are still on our grounds, whether that be the county courthouse or the state capitol, those are still stains on our reputation nationally. That too will change over time. For now, I would certainly invite Governor Abbott to just start with one monument, and I'll join him whenever he wants to take down a sign of Cesar Chavez.
Representative, good to see you. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Jason.